third set will be played on new Fighting Spirit. Spawning in the top left-hand position is the Red Terran from WOONGJIN Stars. His name is BrAvO.
His opponent spawns in the top right-hand position on the map. Green Protoss from KT Roaster. His name is MyuNgSiK.
So MyuNgSiK and BrAvO, neither of these guys have a win in this respective matchup. BrAvO's got a little bit more games to his name, but only 2 games against Protoss, while MyuNgSiK has 0 versus Terran. So really, we're not going to be 100% sure on how these guys plan on playing out their games here, if they're more of a macro style of player, or they prefer to go for the cheeses instead when it comes to PvT/TvP. So it'll be a little bit of a learning experience for everybody.
And I like how these two teams did not send out a Zerg player on this map. Yes, the Zerg players are favored to win on this particular map, but it seems like these teams are testing to see if other races are viable in Pro League before heading into playoffs. That's the reason why we see a Terran player from WOONGJIN Stars while we see a Protoss from KT Roaster.
Yeah. Terrans, I'd say, are probably the rarest on this map overall. Protoss are still seen a little bit more often than them. Not by too much, though.
And most likely we're going to see some Zerg players being sent out post-season, as the Zerg players can abuse the high-yield gas early on in the game, while Protoss players, it's hard for them to take a third base on this particular map.
Alright, so BrAvO is opting to go for Command Center first opening here. Going to put it on the low ground as well. Pretty much a show of confidence if you don't want to put it at your ramp.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 4-player map. The size, it doesn't look as big as Whirlwind, but still it's a big map for these 2 players. And BrAvO can take the 15cc on the low ground, and as long as he defends against early pressure, he's going to be completely fine.
Indeed. Placing his first barracks down, he'll most likely grab a second one here, unless he wants to play it a little bit greedy. Get the earlier gas out. From our Protoss player, he's only grabbed one of his assimilators here. That generally means that he's thinking to himself, alright, I'm going to go for that early expand and be as greedy as possible while still being pretty safe.
In fact, starting Assault right now, but he is going to cancel it at the last second unless he wants to go for pressure early in the game. Now, BrAvO is making 2 barracks. He needs to make sure he has enough Marines to defend against possible early pressure from his opponent, MyuNgSiK, in today's match.
Alright, MyuNgSiK gearing up to take his expansion here at the natural, and there it goes down. Go ahead and take that and scout afterward. We do see BrAvO's expansion finish up right around the time the MyuNgSiK starts as well. And this SCV gonna go ahead and see the timing of the Nexus as well.
Yeah, but look at this approach, just sneaking around towards the 12 o'clock position, just trying to say, you know what, I don't want my probe being scouted by my opponent's SCV if he is scouting in that direction. And he does avoid it. He does get into the natural, sees the command center finish, sees the Marine and the bunker.
Alright, the SCV as well for BrAvO. Going to be checking out MyuNgSiK's base, see what's going on here. See some militia core, the gateway building something right now. Probably won't be able to see much more, though. It's going to eventually die to the militia core, but still got valuable scouting information.
Definitely, as the probe finishes off, since the militia core is too slow to chase the SCVs in one-on-one fight.
Indeed, we have continued Marine production from BrAvO here. I'm curious to see if he's going to go for a 3rd barracks here. Yep, just as I say that, he does indeed get that 3rd barracks up. So opting not to get any gas just yet here, just going to get that 3rd racks. Now putting down the double gas and preparing for any type of potential Stargate play. He is putting some Marines in his main base. He can also scare away the militia core with that.
Yeah, and he's putting the barracks in a little bit towards the left side. He wants to make sure that his opponent does not get a full scout inside the main base. This supply depot is going to see the militia core moving in, and now BrAvO can deny the scouting completely using his own Marines.
Yep. Alright, well, behind this MyuNgSiK, he is getting a Robo as well as a Forge. So kind of moving into more of a recent style that we've been seeing a lot from Protoss players that want to be very defensive against early drops from the Terran players and still have a pretty good economy and get those fast upgrades. So that's why we see that Forge going up as well as the Robo. And yeah, just continued Marine production from BrAvO here. He's not making any add-ons here except for the 3rd barracks, which recently completed, so he's going to get that tech lab. And behind this also he's going to have an engineering bay. It's going to allow him to get his +1 attack out pretty soon as well.
Yeah, well, MyuNgSiK still has no clue on what his opponent is going for, because remember, the Marines scared away the militia core, so he's just trying to apply some pressure at the front, trying to see how many Marines his opponent has, and just trying to play this game out safe as possible. In fact, he's going for the +1 armor upgrade, while +1 for BrAvO is just starting.
Still a pretty passive game overall. We even have missile turrets on the way for BrAvO. That's a little bit odd here. I think he must really be accepting some... Okay, never mind. It's just right at the natural. He just wanted to defend against potential DT threats.
Definitely.
That's fine.
And he sees the two stalkers in the front. He doesn't exactly know what his opponent is doing back at the main base. That's the reason why he needs to play this as safe as possible. So these two stalkers are applying a little bit of pressure. You even saw BrAvO putting one SCB in the front, trying to get a little more vision to see if there's any additional units coming out by MyuNgSiK at the natural.
You know what? Based on the way BrAvO's playing, he's actually playing this ridiculously passive. I would love to see MyuNgSiK go for a fast third base. I think that could be very effective here, but whoa! Hold on a second. We have a starport on the way here after the robotics, so he could be going for Phoenix Colossi.
Yeah, Phoenix Colossi seems like, you know, it seems like it's making a comeback in Heart of the Swarm. A lot of players have been trying to, you know, experiment with this type of build, especially against some metabacks. And now look at this MyuNgSiK getting the Stargate, getting up to 5 additional gateways. The third base you mentioned, I don't think we are going to see that in this game.
There's not a great chance of the third base going up anymore with these additional gateways in production here. And the additional Stargate, that's really perplexing to me. I'm assuming he's going to build Phoenix out of it. I mean, he could get an Oracle. I guess it'd be a little bit weird to get it at this stage in the game. The Terran player more than prepared to deal with it. Yeah, we'll see. Cronus doesn't put anything out of it.
I think that was a mistake. I think he thought that he pressed something and then either he didn't have enough gas or minerals, and now the Chronobus is just being wasted on the Stargate. Yes, Phoenix does start, and remember, MyuNgSiK has up to 6 gateways inside the main base, which means after the pressure, he can still try to go for the expansion and play this game out. But certainly, he's going to apply heavy pressure against his opponent, BrAvO.
Yeah. So I guess maybe he's trying to hit a timing where the Vikings can't do too much against his Colossi here. As he'll have Phoenix out kind of preemptively. Just keep in mind, though, guys, this is a lot of gas invested. It's 300 gas for each Colossus and Phoenix in production.
Yeah, in fact, this medevac, look at this. 2 Widow Mines inside it. 4 Marines. Does he have enough units over here? Yes, he does. But does he have the detection?
2 probes get picked off there. But that's not going to be enough, really. And as soon as the Observer gets around here, then he's fine. Also going to build 2 cannons in the main and the natural. We do have a drop going into the main here. This is also going to scout the Stargate. This may kind of confuse BrAvO a little bit as well. And the Phoenix does come out. His probes are stuck. At the same time, we have a big engagement. BrAvO trying to press forward at the front of his opponent's base here. Not going to work, though. The Nexus Cannon plus the additional units there help defend. And the additional Phoenix now moving out. They're going to be able to easily pick up off this medevac, and instead they are going to go ahead and lift up all of those Marines. This Widow Mine, though, getting a few more extra kills. You're up to, wow, 15 workers picked off by this double-pronged attack here.
And the problem is he lost a Colossus, he lost a lot of probes behind this, even loses the last one before the Widow Mine gets picked up. He was trying to hit a timing attack against his opponent, but now the timing is gone as he has only 1 Colossus, and his opponent can just apply constant pressure. In fact, because MyuNgSiK doesn't have enough units, he's being harassed at the natural right now, even with the Nexus Cannon down.
MyuNgSiK needs to add in the Phoenix to his unit composition here to defend, and this is the weakness of the Phoenix Colossus. You don't have a lot of upgrades, you don't have a lot of units. You really need a third base, I think, to truly do this properly.
Well, he was trying to hit a timing attack and it just didn't work out. That's the problem with this type of build. And like you said, without the upgrades, he cannot try to play this game out a little safely. And the third base would have been nice. These Vikings being picked off is nice victory for MyuNgSiK right now, but that's only a small victory against a lot of loss that he had at the natural.
I feel like we could have done a little bit more damage with these Phoenixes, but instead opting the back out for now. There's still only 1 Colossi in production here. We have a single one already out, but still just trying to continue with this composition, trying to make it work here. But yeah. I'm worried that over time, without that third base, this is simply not going to work for MyuNgSiK.
What was fantastic for BrAvO is he was going for the multi-pronged attacks. He scouted what his opponent was doing and picked up 1 of the Colossus at the natural. Remember, we had 2 Colossus before, and this would have been a third one, but the Observer did not scout it in time as there was too many things happening around the map.
And the army's starting to look very impressive from BrAvO. This opponent MyuNgSiK really needs to respect that army and just play very passively and defensive. And the supplies are already right now 142 to 116. Looking pretty far into the favor of BrAvO. His upgrade's a little bit behind right now, though, and Yeah, I would like to see him really focus on those and get more into features. Armory on the way now. We have 3 Vikings in production at once as well. That's going to help deal with the Phoenix Colossus production.
And the problem is, like you said, no third base economy. As time goes on, MyuNgSiK needs to hit a timing attack pretty soon, or he cannot stay in the game because his main base and natural is going to get dried out. So this is the reason why he is pushing out towards the 12 o'clock base.
He's pushing out here, getting a good lift on a few of the Marauders here as well. Picking up 3 Marauders for free. Can't complain about that whatsoever here. He's going to have to lift that one up again. And the Phoenix count actually looking pretty good right now. He's, I think, up to 6 or 7. And we do have 3 Colossi here. If you go for the Phoenix Colossus, you generally get a few more Colossus than normal in your composition, though. But of course, that takes time, resources, and economy.
Yeah, definitely. As MyuNgSiK, he's going to try to find another timing window to attack his opponent, and he needs to make this work. Remember, 15 minutes into the game, we're not seeing a third base attempt by MyuNgSiK, and MyuNgSiK has been mining from 2 bases efficiently. He's not making additional probes behind this.
All right, here comes the attack. Excellent time warps go down, but the positioning still pretty solid from BrAvO here. He has a few bunkers for defense. The Phoenix count is really starting to dwindle here, but the Colossus remain unscratched. Can they do the critical DPS they need to? No, it looks like BrAvO has forced his opponent back for now, but the additional Stalkers are being warped in here as well. Trying the deal with the Viking count. It is dwindling here, but the problem is that lone Colossus, it's going to end up getting picked off. And it goes down. The Stalkers now are simply paperweights when it comes to the Marauders. And it looks like MyuNgSiK, without a third base, his economy is way behind his opponent BrAvO's now, as we see a 59 supply to 115.
In fact, he is trying to squeeze out a Colossus, get more Phoenixes behind it, but as long as BrAvO regroups his units and take a third base, this is his game to win, as MyuNgSiK does not have enough economy to make additional units, even pulling his SCVs to put a period in this game.
I like this, man. This reminds me of when Innovation knew he was ahead and he just wanted to finish the game off the SCVs. I don't even actually think he needs them, but I guess just kind of sending them in for good measure or a little bit of VM. Who knows? But the SCV train now moving in here. The Phoenix are actually picking off some of the Vikings here. The problem is there's only a single lone Colossus for defense here, and the remaining units over here end up getting picked off. GG is called. BrAvO taking set number 3.
So MyuNgSiK tried to hit a timing attack against his opponent using the Colossus and the Phoenixes, but the difference between game number 1 and game number 3 is stats denied the harassment from Light, while BrAvO made it work and delayed his opponent's timing push.
Yeah, indeed. The amount of worker harassment is ridiculous there from BrAvO. He got miles of his opponent after that, and trying to go for a timing, probably not going to work in that scenario, and it clearly didn't.